everybody, and welcome to my sewing room. I'm Rosemary, and I know that I said that I wasn't going to do any videos during the month of April, but as I said before, I'm going on vacation and I want to make myself a bag. I hate to carry a purse when I'm on vacation. I like a bag that has room that I can put some things in if I do some shopping, and something that's lightweight that doesn't make me feel like I'm carrying around a suitcase with me wherever I go. Also, I want to try this product that I bought. It's called Radio Frequency ID fabric. You're supposed to be able to line wallets and purses with it. That's to keep your information safe. So I want to sew some of that into a bag, and I just thought I would just wing it. You know me, I just wing it. I don't use a lot of patterns. I have a lot of these bags. I've made some things here on the video channel with these bags, and I thought maybe I would try one of those. And what I've done is I took it and I cut it apart. So I probably could have just used a piece of duck cloth, but since I had the bag, that's what I used. And I put some embroidery on it. I put Mickey and Minnie Mouse that looked like they were on vacation, and I put Winnie the Pooh because Winnie the Pooh is my absolute favorite of the Disney characters. Those of you who know me know I'm a big Disney fan, and I put it on a lot of my things, and I have a tendency to go to embroidery and go crazy and buy a lot of different designs. And then I went completely off subject. My daughter said, "Mom, none of those characters are in the same universe," but I just like Disney. So I put a whole lot of different stuff on it. I have Lilo and Stitch on this black fabric. I have Jack and Sally, Maleficent, which I also downloaded from embroidery, Cruella de Vil, and Ursula, because I think Ursula is one of the coolest villains that Disney has, and then a little bit of Monsters Inc. So you see, I'll have a whole lot of different embroidery designs that I've done, and I have it on my white. And then, so what I thought I would do is just kind of piece this together almost like in a quilt. I'm going to do black on the sides, and then I'm going to make pockets out of some of the bigger characters. I have this black Mickey Mouse print that, as you can see, it's been cut before because it's something that I made into something else and then hated it and cut it out. And then I went to Joann's today and I found this really cute Mickey and Minnie. It is gray and black and white, so I think that's going to work really good for lining in my bag. So you guys are going to watch me experiment with this design, and if it comes out disastrous, it comes out disastrous, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So the first thing before I do anything else is I'm going to take this long piece of white fabric, and then I'm going to take not these, but these longer, skinnier pieces, and I'm going to sew one here and one here, and then one here, and then the other one over here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on my sewing machine. Oh, I forgot. I want to show you that I'm going to put piping in it. Hold on just a minute. So I want to put piping in it, and I have this packaged piping. It's the same stuff that I put in the little girl's dress last week. It just says bias tape maxi piping, and you can purchase it already in a 2.5 yard package, and I have it in black. And I'm going to use that around the edges of the strap and maybe around the top of the bag. I haven't figured it out yet. And you'll notice that my last video that I did, I used a zipper foot. That makes me crazy to put a zipper foot up against this small piping. So at work, I bought this. It's a pearl and piping foot that Brother makes, and it's see-through, and you can zigzag over the top of a string of pearls, or you can put piping through it and sew right along the edge of it. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that when I get ready to do that. But let's go ahead and sew these side seams first, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so before we go to the sewing machine so I can show you how to put the piping in, I wanted to show you what I've done so far. I took this bag and I sewed my embroideries together. I put the strip of I actually sewed the black pieces together here, and then I sewed them along the side and fit them so they all fit on there pretty good. I really like it. I don't know how well you can see what I've done here, but I have all my different Disney characters sewn on here. And then what I did with the Monsters Inc. one is I lined it with the Mickey Mouse fabric on the top and the bottom. I left the sides open because we're going to probably put the straps over that, so I don't need to close those. And I made 2 pockets. And I'm going to take the pockets and I'm going to lay them on the bag. One here under Mickey and Minnie and one here under Winnie the Pooh. And then I'm going to take these strips of the Mickey Mouse fabric. They're cut in long strips, only 1.5 inches wide, mostly because I didn't leave enough space in here. That's one of the problems with just trying to go by the seat of your pants, is you do some things that aren't exactly right. So that's what I did, is I didn't leave enough room right here, and I don't want to cover up Maleficent. I may cover up Tigger's tail a little bit, but I'm going to put piping on it, and I'm going to sew it right here with enough left over that I can actually put a strap on the end of it, and then we're going to put a top around the top of the bag. So I am going to get my sewing machine, and then I'm going to show you how to put piping on the edge of this, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to put the lining in it. This is my pearls and piping foot that I bought, and the reason that it works so well is if you turn it like this, there's a really deep channel in here that the pearls will fit in, and also the piping that we're going to do. Okay, this is my Mickey Mouse fabric that I cut at 1.5 inches, and this is my piping, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it so the raw edges are together like this, and then put it under the little channel that's here. Now my needle's right down the middle, so that means it's going to sew right through the middle of that piping. So I'm going to change the width on my sewing machine as far as I can possibly go. That's actually a little bit too far over, so let's go over this way. Yeah, I think that's where I want it. So I'm going to line this up with the edge, and I'm just going to sew a regular straight stitch. So I finished sewing the piping to either side of the 1.5 strip of Mickey Mouse fabric. And then all you have to do is take your piping and push it this way, and it will automatically fold under that piece for you so that you can lay it down. And what I'm going to do is, I sewed the pockets right to the bag by just making a top stitch straight across and lining it up, so the pockets are actually on the bag now. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it, you may have to struggle with this a little bit to get it lined up exactly the way I wanted. But I'm going to put it right over that fold where these two pieces, the white fabric and the black fabric, come together. And the pocket, the edge of the pocket right here, which is a raw edge, comes. And I'm going to cover that all up with this strip that I've made with the piping and the Mickey Mouse fabric. And I'm just going to lay that flat down like this. And because I've got my piping foot, I can sew that down. Now, I'm not going to go all the way to the edge here because I want to put some lining in it, and then I'm going to finish the edge before I figure out how I'm going to finish this strap. So I'm going to let my strap come up probably about 2 inches above the top, and I will figure out how to fold that down in a little bit. And then I'm going to start down about 2 inches from the top. I'm going to put my piping in the piping foot. I'm going to move my needle over till it comes right up against the edge of that piping, maybe a little bit over that way. That should work good. Fold it under, lay it down so it's nice and straight, and then sew that right to my bag through all the different layers. And there's way too much bulk in here for me to show this on camera, but I'm going to go ahead and sew this side and then this side and then the other side so that we've got 2 straps. And then when I'm all done, I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so I finished doing that, and I hope you can see what I've done here. I have all my embroidery on here. I have my pockets in place so I can put stuff in the outside, and I sewed those two straps down that have the piping on the side. Something I would do different if I did it again is I would iron interfacing onto that Mickey Mouse fabric, because these straps did not lay down as nice as I would have liked them to lay down. But I'm just going to leave them the way they are because I've got a lot of stitching in there. But I think they would have laid a lot better if I put interfacing in there. So this is another piece of the Mickey Mouse fabric that I went and bought to put in this. And I didn't notice when I purchased it, but it's a one-directional fabric. So I cut this the right size to fit inside my bag. I split it down the middle and turned it and sewed a seam down it. So one side is going the right way and one side is going the right way. So when I fold it in half and put it in my bag, it should both be going the right way. So this is a pocket that I created that's also the right size to go across here, and I will take it and sew it straight across the probably about 2 inches down from the top, so that when I put something in the pocket I won't lose it down on the bottom. And I'll just take it and I'll just stitch it in place here, and then when I sew the side seams, the side will get finished. And then I'm going to sew up twice down the middle, so that I've created 3 pockets instead of one really great big pocket. And I might just figure out about how big my cell phone is so that I know that it fits in there pretty good. And I even sometimes like to make a really thin one, because that way I can stick pins in it and the pins won't get lost in there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to sew the side seams of the bag up, and then I'm going to put right here around the top, I'm going to sew a strap to finish the top so that they're all done together. So let me go ahead and finish sewing the side seams of that and put the pocket on this and put that inside, and I'll show you exactly what I mean about finishing the top and putting the other strap on. Okay, so I'm back from the sewing machine, and I sewed the side seams up on my bag. And I know I've shown this to you before on other bags that I've done, but once you've sewn the side seam, you want to take it like this and kind of pull it and create a triangle at the corner, and then sew straight across there. And that's going to make your bag more square shaped with a flat bottom, instead of like an envelope where it won't sit down on the floor and it won't look good. So we're going to sew those corners, and I already did it on this side, and I'll do it on the other side. And then once I turn it inside out, you'll see that it kind of sits flat like this, and my black embroidery designs are on one side and my white embroidery designs on the other, and it's going to create kind of a square bag, which is what I'm trying to get. And then I went ahead and I did the lining the same way, and I remembered at the last minute that I wanted to put that radio frequency fabric in there, so I sewed that in there as well. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it inside my bag. And then I'll pin all the edges together so that they fit and everything looks nice and flat. And I've got my pockets all inside. And I still have not sewn my straps all the way up to the top yet, because I'm going to finish those off after I get my top edge on. Now I have another piece of the Mickey Mouse fabric, and this time I was smart enough to put some interfacing on it so it's a little bit stiff. And I measured it so it is exactly the measurement of my opening at the top of my bag. And then I'm going to take this circle and I'm going to set it in to where the lining is, and I'm going to pin that around the top as well, and then sew all 3 layers together. And then I will take it and I'll flip it around to this side so I have a nice finished edge. I always sew the inside, flip it around to the outside, and top stitch it. And that way, if I don't get the edges together perfectly, the part that's on the outside that everybody sees is the one that'll look the best. The other way that I might do it is if I sew it on the outside and flip it around to the inside, then I'll hand stitch it so that nobody can see whether the stitches all line up together. But, and that's the way I do my quilt binding, but I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to stitch it on the inside, flip it around to the outside, and I'll be right back and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm back from my sewing machine, and I did just what I said I was going to do. I put the lining inside my bag, and then I took this band with the interfacing on it, and I sewed that all to the inside of my bag. And now what I want to do is I want to flip this around to this side and then turn it under like this and stitch it, top stitch it all the way across. And I even did a top stitch along this part too, along the top, just to kind of give it a nice finished look. And then I'm going to take this part here and I'm going to flip it so it's tucked under, and I'm going to top stitch it onto the edge of the bag. But before I do that, I want to put something in here that I can hook my handles to. So I don't know about you, but I have this box, and it is just chock full of everything that I pick up whenever I see a sale or something on the clearance table that I can pick up that is hardware for purses. And I have a whole bunch of these that I've bought over the years, and I even have some plastic ones, some silver ones, but I had 4 of these brass looking ones, and I know that this is really supposed to be for running the straps through to adjust it, but I'm gonna actually use these to connect my my straps. So if I take this bag and I put one of these rectangles through, whoops, that's not right, let's do it again, through like this, and then tuck it under and top stitch it like this, then I'm gonna get something that I can put another strap through here and sew that on there, so I'll have some straps. I could put some adjustable ones in there, some of these that are like this, so I can adjust my straps, but I'm not going to, because I probably wouldn't use it, and that's a step I don't really need. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my webbing, which when I ran back to Joann's the other day when I didn't have enough piping, I bought some of this. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it through here, and then I'm going to top stitch that and then make the straps as long as I need it to be so I can carry it. The other thing that I want to do is I want to put something that's going to take this part here and close it a little bit more, so the bag has a little more shape to it, and it's not such a great big huge looking like a diaper bag when I'm carrying it around. So the way I'm going to do that is when I go to sew this top stitching down, I am going to sew a line here and a line here, from here to here, from here to here, and then in this little part I'm going to put one of these little magnets. And you can buy these magnets at in your fabric store where they carry the purse hardware and stuff. They are really strong. See, I've got 2 of them here, and watch. They just step together. And then when they snap together, they're really hard to get them apart. So I'm going to put one here and one here, and then probably one here. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 of them all together so that the purse has some shape to it. And as soon as I go to my sewing machine and sew all of that, I'll come back and I'll show you what the purse looks like completely finished. Okay, so here's my bag completely finished. I think it came out pretty good. I really like it. It's exactly the right length in the straps that I put on it for me to carry it around, and it doesn't look like a diaper bag. It looks like a purse. What did I learn when I was making it? One, I think I should have maybe quilted it, and I did consider that for a little bit, and then I didn't do it, and I think it would have had a lot more body if it was quilted, but I'm not unhappy enough with it to have redone it. I already told you that I think I probably should have put some interfacing in the straps. That would have made them lay a little bit better. Another thing is when you're using those magnets, make sure that you don't put them in so the polar opposites meet each other. Ask me how I know that. So you want to make sure that the one that opens here comes together and the ones that open on the side actually come together before you slide them up in there. Don't put them in there backwards. So this opens up like this. So when I pull it completely open, it's a nice big bag. There's lots of room. When I'm out on vacation and I'm shopping, I'm going to have room to put stuff in the bag. And I've got lining in here and I've got pockets in here. I'm going to tell you something I have learned over the years. When you carry a big bag, everybody thinks you're going to carry their stuff. So don't do that. Don't let them give you their stuff. But you want enough room to put your stuff in there. And as I said before, I made some pockets so I could put a pen in there. I could put my checkbook in there and anything else I need to put in there. So, and then the magnets kind of make it all come together. Another thing I think I learned is the pockets down here are a little bit too low. If I'd made this embroidery design a little bit higher up and brought the pockets a little bit higher up, I probably would make them a lot more useful. I don't know how useful they are the way they are, but I can put my cell phone in this one and maybe my keys in that one. So I think it came out really cute. I really like it a whole lot, and I had a lot of fun making it. I hope you had a lot of fun making it, and you will give it a try to make something like that with your embroidery machine and your sewing machine. And if you like watching my videos, I'd appreciate it if you would like them. You comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time.